Wellness Show. You, the busy professional who wants to live a healthier, happier life with increased energy and productivity. And I'm your host, Jackie Grant, and I transform busy female professionals' hormones and habits without giving up chocolate and wine, calorie counting, restrictive dieting, or spending all your time in the gym. Now, today we are talking about how to identify and change your self-limiting beliefs. And our guest tonight is Angela Ward. And Angela is a spiritual mentor and life coach. And she founded Cleanse Mind and Body Spirit, and that's her business. And she works with people who are stuck in their own self-limiting beliefs. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, Jackie. Hello.
Thought you couldn't hear me then.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Great. So, Angela, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, so as you said, I'm a spiritual life coach and mentor. And basically what I do is I work with individuals from a holistic perspective, and we address the internal energy within the individual by looking at where they are blocked. Now, to do this, we have to address some of the external issues that people face every day in life. So as we go through life, we will have certain experiences in our life that will be quite pivotal for our development, or for our development, and we will either be held back by those experiences or we will flourish from those experiences, depending on what those experiences are. And what I do is I work with individuals to help release any kind of negative emotional attachment to an experience that prevents them from moving forward and having a more fulfilled life. Brilliant. I also use tools to do that. So it's not just about the life coaching and the spiritual mentoring. I also use crystals. I use guided meditation. We will have like a talking therapy type approach. I also am a holistic massage therapist as well.
Brilliant. So what made you start, get your journey to there, Angela? What got you there?
What got me here? Well, that's a very interesting question, because basically in about 2013, I had a big wake-up call. And I'm not talking I was going to die or anything like that. It was nothing like that whatsoever. But in 2013, I woke up spiritually, and I woke up with a big bang, in so much as all of a sudden every single thing I'd ever known around me wasn't what I perceived it to be. And it led me down the path of healing, because I started to, as I started to try and understand what was going on around me, it led me to some real deep-rooted issues that I'd had of my own, based on my past experiences, good or bad. And so I started to use crystals at that point. I was also training to do some holistic therapies at that point. But meditation and the essential oils goes back way back with me, back to the early 90s, when I was using essential oils then. And I was also using meditation then, guided meditation, or quiet time, really, is what I used to call it back then. And so as I went through these processes of my own, I started to journey. Basically, it was a journey where I started to question a lot of things about me as an individual. And once you take away all of the aspects around you where it's quite easy to blame, isn't it, and put judgment elsewhere, once you stop doing that and you drop your mask and you actually start to question yourself, which is what was happening to me back in 2013, it's only then when you can start to really find the answers that will help you to then develop. Because I am a firm believer that your world that you live in is created by you. and it's created by you.
Yes, definitely.
With the thoughts, your actions, your processes, your energy, and everything that you put out there, and how you show up in the world. And because this stuff fascinated me to such an extent, obviously, as I said, I've worked through it all myself. And I can see what it does as I work with individuals. I can see how when they get this release of energy, they are just, it just blows my mind when it's blowing their mind, because it's just such a joy to see that people can move to that next level. And that's really why I do what I do. For all of my life, I've always been a person that wants to help others, wants to develop. Self-development has been very key for me personally, but I'm also very keen on helping people to reach their full potential. Brilliant. And that's why I'm where I am. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing that. So what is a self-limiting belief, Angela? Just, tell us about that.
Well, self-limiting beliefs can come in all shapes and forms and disguises, really. And I suppose, and I could talk about this a lot because it's a very, very big subject. So I won't go into the whole realms of it, but I'll just give you a little snippet. So self-limiting beliefs come when you think you can't do something, or you look at other people and you'll say things like, I wished I could be that person, or I wished I could do that, or I wish, or this. And that's when you are limiting yourself at that very point, because we are born into this world and we are conditioned. We are conditioned by the environment that we live in. Okay. We are conditioned by the people we hang about with. We are conditioned by the schools. We are conditioned by our working environment, and we are conditioned by our parents and our siblings. And what I mean by conditioning is that they are other people's beliefs and opinions of how one should either live their life or show up in the world, or even where you should shop. We're always being conditioned to do something. And what that is just going into your brain, and your brain literally just, takes all of that information and thinks that's the truth. Yeah. That's the truth of the matter, because that's how it operates. It works that way. So when you are surrounded by all of these conditions and this belief system that you grow into, you start to believe that is your truth too. So if you're consistently told, as when you're growing up, for instance, you can't do X, Y, Z, if you're told often enough, you're going to believe you cannot do X, Y, or Z. I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, I grew up in a working class family. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, okay? And I was brought up in a council estate, and there's nothing wrong with that either, okay? But what it did was the environment I was in, which is not necessarily anything to do with the council estate or to do with being working class. It was the environment and the people I was around, their thought processes, their beliefs, their standards, their values, which they would have got from their mother, their father, and then their nan, their granddad. So it comes down the line.
Yeah,
and
sure.
At that point, the thought process of my environment was that working class people just shut up and put up. And that's what you do. And you just do that, and there is nothing else there for you. You are in a class system, and you should know your place. Now, having that as an environment prevented me early on from believing I could be anything else apart from what I've been conditioned to know.
Yeah, sure.
Now, that is a self-limiting belief, because I've chosen to believe that other people's opinions and view of the world they are in or were in is my truth.
Yeah, sure.
And it's not my truth. But it took me a while to work through that one when I was younger, obviously. But that's just one small example of how your beliefs can be limited and how you, as an individual, will limit yourself from progressing. Make sense?
Yeah. So what you're saying really is that, you know, we're programmed in a way because of our environment, because of our parents, because of what they think and feel comes to us, and then that's what we start to, you know, bring into our lives. And, you know, we then start to have some fears about certain things that we may not be able to do, or, you know, we might want to, like, be, I don't know, a rock singer or something, but as, you know, our parents might have told us, oh no way you'll be able to do that. That's your belief, and that's what you tend to then take on board, and then that manifests, you know. So in terms of that, what are some key steps that people can, you know, take in order to, because self-limiting beliefs is really, really difficult. It manifests in so many different ways, and you can, like, if for instance, you know, if someone wants to lose weight, they may have these self-limiting beliefs that I can't do this, I'm never going to be able to keep up with the program, or, you know, whatever they're doing, whether it's, you know, Slim World or whatever they're doing. How can people really start to, you know, break those beliefs?
Well, they have to be reconditioned, basically. They have to recondition themselves. And to do that, you have to dig deep inside. The very first thing is to have the awareness. Because if you don't have the awareness that you are actually limiting yourself, then you're always going to you're going to stay stuck in that situation. And the awareness comes from when you are spiritually awakened. Because you realise that actually there's more to you than just your mind and your body. Yeah. So we all tend to work on our physical side, don't we? Well, we try to work on our physical side, and we work with our mind every day. We make decisions every day. But when you're spiritually awakened, it brings in a new dimension. And to break down those aspects, you need to understand where the belief came from in the first place. So once you realise, hang on a second, you'll say, you've used that example where someone wants to lose weight and they think they can't because they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. First of all, we need to understand, is that because they just can't be asked, really? Are they committed? Yeah, because unless you take responsibility, which is one of the key things, you have to take responsibility for your life.
Yeah.
You cannot go to a class or come and work with you, for instance, because they want to lose weight and they want to do whatever. It's like coming to your boot camp, isn't it? Say I came to your boot camp, Jackie, and I said, Jackie, I want to come to this boot camp. I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do everything that this boot camp is offering me. Yeah. And I turn up and I just stand there and I'm expecting everything to happen, because I'm not taking responsibility for actually getting involved and doing what I need to do. Yeah. And that's one of the key aspects. You have to take responsibility. So you have to have awareness in the first instance. Yeah. You have to take responsibility. Once you start to take responsibility, you then need to travel. You need to journey to find out where that belief came from, why you hold that belief, why the person, or because you will find out it did belong to somebody else when you do the journey. Yeah. Why they felt the way they felt, and then you release it through and you reset, because you take that's no longer your belief, so you set a new belief, and your beliefs can change as and when you grow. So you don't set a belief and stay stuck there, because sometimes you'll have to evaluate, because as you grow, you change, and sometimes you need to set the bar that little bit higher.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, sure. So is there any specific tools that people can use to build in new beliefs?
Well, I think to build in new beliefs, once again, I said you need to do the journey and to find out where the beliefs came from. And this is where the things like the crystals that I use, guided meditation can help. It can help you to journey to find the belief, and it can also help you to journey to reset a new belief. Having a mentor is actually one of the critical things in all of this, because yes, you can do all this stuff on your own, and you'll know this, Jackie. You know, people go to the gym, don't they? And they work out on their own, then they give up, and then they can't be asked. But if they come and work with you as a personal trainer, but mentor at the same time, the results are going to be much better, and they will come in much quicker because you've got the support that you need. And while you are traveling through what you need to be doing, what you will find is that the people around you are either going to support you or they're going to hold you back. So you need to find yourself someone or something, or in a group of sorts where you can have the support that's required. So crystals, the meditation is just fantastic for resetting beliefs, as I said, because you can really journey into your body to find, you know, where you need to address what issues you need to address, where you need to address it. The crystals will help you do that when they tap into your chakra system. And your chakra system, I'm not sure how much you know about the chakra system, but the chakra system is connected to, it's our internal energy. There's 7 majors, and they are connected to our endocrine, which is connected also to the hormones, which affect the emotions. And it's all energy, and everything around us is energy. Your experiences and the emotions attached to your experiences become the energy within your body. So it's also about understanding where that is so that you can release that energy out and reset the DNA of the emotional attachment to the experience, which is what sets your beliefs.
Great. So in terms of using those tools, I mean, I know you say about the chakras and everything like that. So what someone would really have to go to someone in order to get that, you know, to do the practice that you've just said in terms of using crystals?
Yeah, because you'd need to understand what you're doing with the crystals. You can, you know, you do need to know that it's not just something you could pick one up and say, oh, right, that's going to work, but you don't know what you're doing with it. So you need to have a little bit of training. You need to have some understanding, or you need to go to a crystal therapist, a trained crystal therapist that can help you. But what I've also done, because of this very reason, where you know, crystals is, some people think it's all a bit woo-woo. What's all that, you know, stuff? It's pretty stones, isn't it? So what I've done is you mentioned it earlier, I've written a book, I'll just show you, which is called Reclaim Your Personal Power. And basically in this book, apart from my own experiences and talking about some of the stuff we've just spoken about just now, there's a 7-part guide in here at the back, which helps you to do just that. So it gives you an introduction, I'll just put that down, an introduction to the chakra. It explains what you feel if you're out of balance. So it can help you in that respect. There's essential oils in there that are for each of the chakra. So a specific oil will work with specific chakras within your body. There's also an explanation on 6 crystals for each chakra, on what they do, how to use them. And then there's a meditation in there. But what I did is I went one step further, and people that purchase the book get access to the audio of the meditation. So you're not sitting there reading it, trying to meditate and reading at the same time. So you can literally just go to the, you know, where it's stored and pop your earplugs in, your earphones in, and listen to it and really get involved in what's going on. So I did that for that very reason. So people have got this, it's like a self-guide, if you like, of what to do with the crystals and how to use the tools that I've described. Okay.
So tell me, Angela, tell me, like, someone was to come to you and they had some self-limited beliefs, you know, give me a case study. What would that look like for someone?
Okay, so I can talk to you about a lady that I worked with. When I first met her, I won't say her name because we don't need to know that. But when I first met her, she used to come to me for holistic massage. So I do holistic massage. So it's not just like sports massage is what it is. It's for people that have got injuries. Holistic massage is more than that. It taps into your energy system. And then she got interested in the crystals, and then she got interested in the Reiki because I do the Reiki healing. And at that time, when she first came to me, she was really, really confused. She was very down in herself. Her self-esteem was really poor, and she had some real deep rooted issues around her heart chakra in particular. And this was all to do with compassion, forgiveness, and she had a lot of father wounding. So, you know, I've spoken about people's actions and how they are and the environment you were brought up in. Well, she had a particular situation around her father, and in the healing world we call them wounds. And basically I worked with her through meditation. We did quite a few guided meditation, but what we did, we started off with trying to identify through her lifespan, really, all the experiences, whether good or bad, what she could remember from her life. And we started to pull together, some of her history, if you like, because what tends to happen is that if you have a wound and you don't heal that wound, another experience will come in that will trigger that again, albeit it will be a different experience. It will trigger it again, and these feelings, thoughts, processes, actions will arise again. So it's really important to understand at what given point in your life you are repeating patterns, because it's the patterns that you need to break to get to the wound, to get to the healing. Anyway, so we did some real work around her father, and it turned out she had some codependency issues with her mother, and so I've worked with her for nearly a year, to be honest, and she has now moved out of the family home. She's independent. She's loving her life. She's now got a really good relationship with her father, where before she couldn't even talk to him because she was so wounded by him. She's learned that actually, you can't judge people for what they do, because they do things within their own knowledge, their own the information they have to hand, and where they are in their life. And we're all on different levels, aren't we, of a place in life, just generally. And so we've finished our mentoring now, and our spiritual life coach and mentoring, and she's now also looking at purchasing a property, and she's got a life plan together of how she wants to take stuff forward, which is really beautiful, because when she came to me, she was just like a little wounded young lady. She's only in her late 20s. And now she's really vibrant and is really getting into life. So it works. It's amazing to see the transformation with people when they go through these processes. The thing with me is, because I'm different from psychologists and that kind of thing, because of the tools that I use, I'm very different in that respect. So you have to be really open to go in with, the flow with it, because there will be different things that I use. I might bring the pendulum out and I'll do some energy clearing with that as we're having a conversation. I might bring the angel oracle cards out and we might do a reading, as we're having a conversation, because all these different tools get people talking. And once you start talking, you can start addressing what's going on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And so she,
you can see the smile. Look, I'm really, really chuffed with her. She's just fantastic, fantastic. She's doing so well.
so can Angela, can these things be done online as well as offline?
Yes. Yes, they can. I mean, I can do the life coaching on online. We have Skype nowadays. We have all sorts of ways and means to connect. I think the only thing that I would say about, obviously, I can't massage someone online.
Yeah, of course. That'd be hard.
That's not going to happen with all the wind in the world. But crystals, yeah, I can teach people about crystals. I can send them a pack of crystals and then we can converse in another way, and I can teach them how to use them, what to do, where to place them, and stuff like that. But the other thing is I do distant healing. So I can do healing, like Reiki healing from a distance. I've done a bit of that as well, actually. I did some work on a lady in Germany. I did some work on a friend of mine who's got cancer. So, yeah, you can do that distantly. So there's various means and ways of doing stuff. I don't have to be seen in person. We don't have to connect in that way. Apart from if you want a massage, obviously.
Yeah, brilliant. So Angela, I know you've just slightly spoke about your book. Tell us a bit more about your book and what it's actually about, because I mean you talked about some chapters that would help people in terms of the crystals and in terms of meditation, but overall, what would you say your book's all about?
I think it's about helping people to transform and come out of that stuckness. I call it stuckness. Once you've got the awareness of what's going on around you and the part that you play in that, this book will help a person go through that journey. So I've spoken about taking responsibility. There's a whole chapter in there about why you should take responsibility and what that actually means when I'm saying you need to take responsibility. There's a whole chapter in there about the chakras generally, like the energy. What is it? To give people that bit of understanding of how we do really interconnect with each other without even realising. So we're connected energetically now, Jackie, even though I'm not even in the room with you, and I know we're talking via the computer and what have you, but I mean from a body, like a spirit to spirit connection. So there's that in there. There's quite a lot of my experiences in there just to show people that actually you can't allow other people to define your life. And I've used certain incidences that happened to me where I'd allowed, although it's a horrible experience, I'd allowed the experience to define who I was for a period of time from the action of another person who placed a value on my life lower than where I would place a value on my life. So it's understanding. It helps you to understand, because it's quite coachy as well. So it helps you to understand where your values sit right now, and do you need to increase your values? What are your standards for your life? Or are you going to let Joe Blogg, who says X, Y, Z to you, define the rest of your day? And things like that. And that's putting it on a high level, really. So there's quite a lot in there about those kind of things, which will give the reader food for thought, Jackie, just to say, well, hang on a second. If I spoke slightly differently to a particular individual, because it will spark, you will go, oh gosh, oh God, yeah, I've done that, or whatever, yeah. If I spoke differently, say for argument's sake, to an individual, I'll get a different response. And it's about testing those things out, because however you show up in the world is what you're going to get back. There's also a piece in there about the law of attraction and a meditation to help you increase your vibrational frequency, because the law of attraction is one of those things, isn't it, that we all talk about it, and a lot of people don't actually get what they think that they asked for. And it's not necessarily about the universe doesn't know what's good or bad necessarily for you. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to give you what you want. So if your energy vibration is low, you're going to attract more of that. Yeah. If you can increase your energy vibration and your energy frequency, you're going to attract something that's higher and better for the highest good. And it's all about for the highest good. So there's a meditation in there as well, just to help people really try to tap into that joyous, that thing that you need to get behind. It's the energy behind what it is that you're manifesting is what's going to come back to you. So if you're manifesting from a place of fear, expect some more fear to come to you, because that's all you're going to get, because you're manifesting from a place of fear. So it's quite diverse in that respect. As I said, it's quite coachy as well. A lot of my experiences in there, not to make people squirm or anything like that. It's not like that. It's not that type of book. It's just that this happened. I realised, now this is what I've done about it, and this is the outcome. It's that type of scenario, you know.
Brilliant. Great. Well, thank you for that, Angela. It's been really informative. And Angela, where can people find you? Let people know your website. I know you've rebranded, so let's let the audience know.
I have rebranded, Jackie. Yes, I have indeed. So, and thank you so much for asking me to come on today. I've really enjoyed it. I just want to put that to you. So thank you for that. But if anyone would like to contact me, my email address is, sorry, not my email, my website is www.angelaward.co.uk. There's a link on there that you can, on the homepage, that will take you to Amazon if you want to purchase the book. My telephone number's on there, and you can contact me by email.
Brilliant. And have you got any freebies or any offers that you're doing at the moment, Angela, for our audience?
Freebies, Jackie? Wow. You didn't prepare me for that one, did you? I tell you what I can do. If anyone is interested, I'm being quite serious now, jokes aside, but if anyone is actually interested and would like to know more, I do offer a 30-minute free consultation to talk through anything that anybody would like to talk through, to see if we could work together, and that's a 30-minute consultation.
Brilliant. Thank you, Angela. So that's great. So you've heard all about self-limiting beliefs. You've heard about Angela's book. You've also heard about law of attraction. You heard so much more than we were meant to offer tonight. So guys, if you have not listened to the whole thing, make sure that you listen to the whole thing, because Angela's given some really good tips and some ways that you can look at yourself, the journey of looking at yourself limiting beliefs, and getting some way of moving forward in your life. So guys, this was the Change and Grow Wellness Show, and I'm Jackie Grant, and I will see you next week with some even more inspiration for you. So take care. Bye.
Bye.